What's the point? And this is a sentiment that Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam addressed so many times throughout the Quran and the Sunnah. What is the point? And I was thinking about Yusuf alayhi salam when he speaks to his brother at the end of the ordeal, and he says, "Innahu man yattaqi wa yasbir, fa inna Allaha la yudhi'u ajra al-muhsinin." That whoever is God conscious and patient, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not let the reward of the good doers go to waste. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself says, "Wasbir, fa inna Allaha la yudhi'u ajra al-muhsinin." Be patient, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not let the reward of the good doers go to waste. The patience of the people that are under this savagery and this brutality and that are facing what they are facing right now is to stay steadfast and know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not let a single moment of pain that they experience go without accounting on the Day of Judgment and go without a tremendous reward for them. The patience, the wastabir, the patience of those who are doing what they can on their behalf, is to know that every single moment that you spend in their cause, Allah will not let it go to waste. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may put something in your small effort that has major impact. What's the point? We are always looking for that immediate change, that immediate visible change to happen right in front of us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. And whoever does an atom's worth of good will see it. وَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. And whoever does an atom's worth of evil will see it. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, he speaks about these ayats in a very profound way. He says that on the Day of Judgment, you won't just see the atom's worth of good that you put forward. You will see what it actually meant in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'll see its full value. You see that hasana that you put forward, that good deed that you put forward, that seems to be so insignificant, an atom's worth in this life. On the Day of Judgment, you will see its full value, what it really meant. And you will see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not omit a single part of it. And He says, even for the disbeliever, there's a pay it forward concept, that even that person, yara, they will see the goodness of their good deeds in this dunya. The believer will see, yara, will see the effect, the impact of their good deeds in the hereafter. Whereas the disbeliever, because Allah Azza wa Jalla is just, will see the impact of their good deed in this life. But even then, whoever does an atom's worth of good will see it, because sometimes you need to see something to know that it's effective, to know that it means something. And Allah al-Basir, who sees all, is promising you that you will see it on the Day of Judgment. That every single small thing put forward will mean something, and you will see it in its full value. What's the point of your dua? What's the point of your efforts, whether it's in protest or in changing the narrative or trying to change the narrative or in educating even one person? What's the point of the collective will of a community? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not let it go to waste. And you need to understand that just as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised victory, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised that it will not go to waste. Just as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised reward for the good doer on the Day of Judgment, that nothing will be omitted from the scrolls, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised that the evildoer will be brought forth, and every single moment of arrogance and every single deed of evil will confront them on the Day of Judgment, and they will be punished. وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ نَسِيًّا. And your Lord doesn't forget. If they turn out the lights, يُرِيدُونَ لِيُطْفِئُوا نُورَ اللَّهِ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ وَاللَّهُ مُتِمُّ نُورِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. They wish to extinguish the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will preserve His light. even if they hate it. And there is this concept that we find present in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, that if you can't pay someone's debt off, then at least advocate on behalf of them so that maybe the debtor will release his debt, or maybe you can ease his anxiety while he is in debt. If you can't cure someone who is sick, then at least care for them while they are sick. Give them compassion and give them support and give them your presence, even if you can't give them a cure to the disease that they are ailing from. If you can't free the captive, at least feed the captive. SubhanAllah, one of the most profound ayat, where يُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ, that the person feeds despite their love of what they have. Al-Miskin, wal-Yatim, wal-Asil. These three categories of people that are given. The poor person, the orphan, and the one who is a captive. And one of the implications of that the ulama mention is that people used to send their prisoners out to the street, their slaves out to the street, to beg for food during the day. SubhanAllah, look at the cruelty. They wouldn't feed their slaves. They'd send them out into the streets to beg during the day. And a person might think, what's the point of me feeding that person if I can't free that person? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that matters. If you can't get them out of that situation altogether, at least dignify them by giving them whatever food you have so that they can at least have that part. But don't belittle the good that you are capable of doing. Don't belittle the effort that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in front of you. Not only is it going to be rewarded on the Day of Judgment, but if you persist with it, it will be effective in this dunya.